Hey, good evening to you. Mark Sutton with HurricaneTrack.com. Hurricane Outlook and discussion time as we talk about Tropical Storm Isaias down there, just off the coast of Florida, moving out of the Bahamas. Going to try to keep this fairly quick. Just a look at how things are right now and what we look forward to tomorrow and into Monday and beyond as this kind of slow-moving system. It's not moving very fast any longer. Remember, it was moving at one point at least 20 miles per hour. And now it's only moving at around 9 miles per hour. So we're going to have to deal with it a little bit longer than expected, I think. So let's get on with it. Take a look at what's happening with it in the northwest Bahamas. The 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time advisory, 70 mile per hour winds, and the pressure is around 995 millibars. And there's that fairly slow movement of northwest at 9 miles per hour. And if we look at the track map here, excuse me, 3 days, let's look at that. And then we'll expand it out to 5 days. Still forecast by the National Hurricane Center to become a hurricane again. The difference between a 70 mile per hour storm and a 75 mile per hour hurricane is negligible. The bottom line is this is expected to bring some significant impacts, maybe hurricane force wind, tropical storm force wind. It's a matter of where those bands set up, how organized it is, whether or not you have deep convection over you. But there will be strong wind just in the background, gusty winds from time to time, even in the smaller bands that move through, and those can blow some of the palm tree pieces off. Already saw some of that tonight. My assistant and I, Mike Farrow, went down to West Palm Beach. I had dinner down there. A few squalls moved through, and you could see some of that debris that blows off those trees. No big deal yet. We didn't see any power outages. Saw a lot of utility trucks coming and pre-staging for this event. But this is going to bring some impacts. It's not nearly as strong as we thought it might be a couple of days ago. Remember, intensity forecasting is extremely difficult. It is a very difficult process. So expect a hurricane, and if it's anything less than that, consider yourselves lucky. Hurricane warnings in the red, tropical storm watch now for Georgia and the South Carolina coast. I fully expect we will see this extended up into the Carolinas and beyond before too long. And this is going to make for a really nasty start to the week ahead. But let's just look at 24 hours at a time, if you will. I'll do this tonight. I'll do a video tomorrow. And we'll just take this kind of one day at a time. If we expand this out to the 5-day forecast overall, this will end up across New England into Atlantic Canada as a remnant, big rainmaker and wind event. So this is going to have big impacts for millions of people, but not a major hurricane, probably, okay? But maybe a hurricane down here in South Florida. Looking at the latest satellite loop here from the Tropical Tidbits site, interesting things going on. The convection absolutely expanded late this afternoon into this evening, and by convection, that's it right there. The showers and thunderstorms, upward motion in the atmosphere, that helps to draw the air in, convergence. It rises. That's that convective motion that we talked about. And the pinks and the whites and the blacks in there, but especially those pinks, indicating very high cloud tops in the atmosphere as the storm here is pushing the atmosphere up, lowering the pressure beneath those clouds. At the surface, the air pressure is lowering. And going against all of that, and you can see that really clear right here, this sort of erosion that comes in. You see that? Yeah, that's the shear pushing against it. It's got this sort of sharp edge to it. And I asked our friend Jack Sillen about this sort of transverse banding look that we had earlier today, where it looks like a serrated edge. And he said that that's very typical in a sheared storm when it's pushing up intense convection and that wind shear is pushing against it. But it's not the most sheared we've ever seen. It's not like those clouds are being blown off at 50 miles per hour from the opposite direction. It's over very, very warm water. And some very interesting things might happen overnight that we're going to take a look at in just a moment. But for you folks here from around Ormond Beach and that area, Daytona, Point South, Cocoa, etc., down across South Florida, Miami-Dade points north. I think, honestly, from Miami, you're good to go now. Fort Lauderdale, probably as well. I mean, this would have to just start going due west, and it's not. It's moving about northwest, at 9 miles per hour. So it's really going to be, I think, West Palm, point south of there, and then north that could see the worst impacts from this, whatever that might be. But this may throw another monkey wrench into everybody's plans just yet, and I'll show you what that might be in a moment. National watches and warnings, just to give you an idea over here of the large area that's under warnings and watches right now. And this is going to expand up the East Coast. We'll talk about that more tomorrow as we get a clearer picture on what's going on. And just as a reminder, you can click anywhere on this map, the weather.gov, weather.gov. You have tropical storm warnings. You have a hurricane watch there in the pink, and all kinds of information in here. You just got to know where to click. I believe I will end up in Charleston at some point to set up camera systems down at the Charleston Battery. And there's information in here about what to expect, the hurricane local statement, the tropical storm watch, so forth and so on. And then here's the forecast. You see that. But that's how you do it. You take advantage of this. Point and click. Real easy to do. And lots of good information there. Don't forget to use it. Okay? Looking at the radar. Again, you just click on the map. There it is. Good high-speed internet at this hotel in Palm Bay. All right. These are those bands that I'm talking about. They come rotating in off of the Atlantic, and these will bring a quick burst of heavy rain and increase in wind, but it's not like Isaias is very, very strong over here, you know, some powerful hurricane, and these bands are each successively stronger. The pressure over here is probably, you know, around 995. You know, that's what the Hurricane Center is saying. And over on land, it's not that much higher. You know, probably, I don't know, I didn't even look at my barometer, 1004, 1011 millibars or something. I'm not sure, but it's not like in the center of the storm, it's, you know, 953, and over here on land, it's 1011, and that's called a pressure gradient, and we're just kind of, you know, pretending here. Let's say it's 1011 millibars on land and 953 over here. The difference between this over that distance is extreme. And so these bands that come in will usher in stronger and stronger winds. Well, the gradient is not that steep right now. So when these bands come in, yeah, it's a little bit more gusty. And like I said, it shakes off some of the dead debris from the palm trees, etc. And that's really about it for now, until and unless a more defined center with more oomph to it, that's not a scientific word, but you get the idea. All of this is just the pregame, so to speak. And we'll just have to see how close does the center get, how much convection and organization is around that center. And here's a little hint. I'm referring to Jack tonight. He had some good tweets earlier. This one here, persistent deep convection continues northeast of the low-level center of Isaias. How do you say it, Mike?
Isaias.
Isaias this evening as per satellite imagery. And he says, if this activity persists overnight, there's some chance the center might jump or move north underneath those deep thunderstorms. And we looked at this earlier on the other loop here from Tropical Tidbits. Very deep convection. But the low-level center, you know, and look at that, how that curled up there. Almost looks like it, I mean, this is real time how it updates. That curled up like a cinnamon roll there. Oh my gosh. That's amazing. It was probably just an optical illusion, but geez, that's okay. Literally, as I'm recording this, that happened. You got to see this, Mike. Come over here. You got to see it. I mean, wow. Anyway, I got distracted by that shiny thing. But to Jack's tweet here that we were talking about, persistent deep convection could pull the center more north. And here's why that's important. If the deep convection, the lowering of the pressure and everything kind of scoots that center in that was going west-northwest, and it pulls it in more north, and everything aligns in the vertical, this thing could take off and strengthen pretty quickly over 6 to 12 hours or longer. So we really got to keep an eye on this overnight. I got to go to sleep, but if you want to stay up, this could be a big deal. And that's really interesting there, what we just saw. I think it's just a trick in the way the clouds are. I really hope so. Recon will tell us later on. So anyway, interesting tweet there about that from Jack Sillen. And then on down here, what did I do? Let me go back. I messed up. Here we are. And he says, good reminder too, this is about the rest of the hurricane season. You know, if this doesn't do much and you dusted off your plans to get ready for Isaias, there's a lot more coming. The European ensemble indicating a lot of activity coming, you know, and we try to make it a little bit lighthearted because it's very stressful times right now. But the weather Twitter prediction here is for above average Twitter activity leading into the peak season. Absolutely. Standing wave is green, sinking motion is the orange, and that favors the Atlantic Basin across Africa. There's the Indian Ocean across Africa. We'll talk about this more in the coming days, but all of this that you see through here where we start to filter out these oranges, this is the area that we're talking about. And this is time, and there's a lot of interpretation of this, and we'll get Jack to come on one time and talk about it, but we're getting ready to hit much more activity even after Isaias, all right? I hate to say it, but that's what I'm here for, even if it's bad news. Our live camera systems, I wanted to show you this real quick. It's really a testament. You know, I might be the guy behind it, and I love what I do, but this is what it's all about. We have awesome crowdfunding support, and it helps us to do these things. This is our digital dashboard. This is available to all of our patrons at the $10 tier and higher. You know, if you expanded it out, it's $120 a year. And you can change your tiers as you need to, all the way from $1 to whatever you want. But the $10 tier I felt like was the most affordable. And this is the dashboard that I talk about when I say we're going to put the cameras out. We have room, as you can see here, for 8 cameras. We can actually expand this to even more if we want to. This is the one over in, it says I got to do some updating. This is in Vero Beach, you know, right there on the bridge. Pretty amazing that we can watch what's going on. Palm tree over there, nice and lit up, and you shrink it away. That's how you do this, by the way. This is the one down in Marineland, not far from St. Augustine. This could really light up, especially later in the day on Sunday. The one in Vero, that's going to be interesting. And I don't know if I'm going to do any more in Florida. I'm not convinced yet. You know, and I want to make sure I'm ready for the Carolinas. So we do have 2 in Florida. And, you know, like I said, one of them is up here in the Marineland area, which is down here roughly. And then the other one is south of there in the Vero Beach area, right roughly in here. And I am in Palm Bay, which is right here. So we're in between. Mike and I with the vehicle and the vehicle cam and the 360 video and the GoPro and all that. So we can run the highway as needed tomorrow, the old Hurricane Highway. See how that works? That new series we're getting ready to release. We can run up and down 95. We can get on US 1. Whatever we got to do, we'll be very careful doing so. And in fact, the Hurricane Center has the center position pretty much over Palm Bay tomorrow. Coincidence? We chose this hotel room 12 hours ago. Pretty good there, I would say. I should start going to Vegas or something. But seriously, a lot can happen overnight. Try to get some sleep. Don't stay up all night obsessing over this if you're in Florida. Farther up the coast, Georgia, the Carolinas, we're going to deal with that more tomorrow. First thing I'll do when I get up tomorrow, unless this is strengthened extremely fast and it's a real problem, you know, and we got to just get out the door, which I don't think that's going to happen. Barring that, the first thing I'll do is we'll do another video. And I'll post that in the morning. I'm going to set my alarm for 7 a.m. That means I've got 8 hours from right now. No, I'm sorry, 7 hours from right now. This laptop's on Central Time. I got 7 hours, so I better shut up and get on with it. So the first thing I'll do is do a video in the morning, and then we'll get out and about and show you what's going on in the real world. As always, thanks for tuning in. I do appreciate it. I am on Twitter. I'm on YouTube. You know that already. And that's how you get to us on Patreon. It's an incredible, awesome thing. Check it out. Support us if you can. And even if you can't, you're not in the position, I appreciate that you're following on this social media right here. It's great to have you aboard one way or the other. I am Mark Sudduth, HurricaneTrack.com. I'll have more for you in a little over 7 hours.